On March 18, 1965, a Soviet cosmonaut named Alexei Leonov opened a hatch on his spacecraft, pushed himself into the void, and became the first human being to stand in open space. No ground beneath him, no atmosphere around him.
Nothing but the silence of the universe, and a pressurized suit standing between him and instant death. He survived 12 minutes and 8 seconds outside the craft before returning. Now here is the question that nobody in mainstream science wants to answer directly. If we cannot survive in space without a suit, what makes us so certain that visitors from space could survive here without one?
And if they couldn't, what exactly are we looking at in thousands of years of ancient carvings, cave paintings, and stone reliefs that depict figures in what look unmistakably like sealed protective suits?
This is Hidden Doctrine, and today we are not just exploring the possibility of alien life. We are exploring the possibility that we are it.
Across the ancient world, in the cave systems of Japan, the temples of Mesoamerica, the tombs of Egypt, there exist images that have no comfortable explanation. Humanoid figures, enclosed helmets, structured suits with what appear to be breathing apparatus, visors, and sealed joints. The conventional response is that these are stylized depictions of gods, symbolic, ceremonial, never meant to be taken literally. But consider the alternative for a moment.
If an intelligent civilization arrived on Earth from a world with a different atmosphere, a different atmospheric pressure, a different chemical composition in the air, they would need protection to survive here, just as we would need protection to survive in the vacuum of space.
The suits we see carved into ancient stone would not be ceremonial costumes. They would be survival equipment. The question is not whether the technology existed. The question is who was wearing it, and where did they come from? At the turn of the 20th century, a group of British and German scientists began taking seriously an idea first proposed by ancient Greek philosophers, an idea so radical it was dismissed for generations, before quietly becoming one of the most discussed theories in modern astrobiology. The theory is called panspermia. The premise is this: life did not independently originate on Earth. Life, or the biological building blocks that make life possible, arrived here from somewhere else, transported across the void of space, embedded in comets, asteroids, or interplanetary debris, and seeded onto our planet billions of years ago. This is no longer fringe science.
The interstellar medium, the space between stars, is filled with complex organic molecules, amino acids, carbon compounds, the raw materials of biology drifting through the cosmos. And we know that rocks travel between planets. Mars, for example, warmer and wetter 3.6 billion years ago than it is today, has been ejecting surface material into space for billions of years as a result of asteroid impacts. Some of that material lands on Earth every year. In 1996, scientists examining a Martian meteorite recovered from Antarctica made an announcement that shook the scientific world. The rock, catalogued as ALH 84001, contained microscopic structures
consistent with fossilized biological activity. Evidence that something lived on Mars 3.6 billion years ago. Earth was no longer unique. Life had existed elsewhere. And if life traveled from Mars to Earth once, It could have traveled from much, much further away.
In the 1960s, the co-discoverer of the DNA double helix, Nobel Prize-winning geneticist Francis Crick, proposed something that went far beyond accident. Crick had spent over a decade staring into the architecture of the genetic code, and what he found there disturbed him deeply. The code was too precise, too universal, too optimized to have assembled itself by random chance over the available time frame of Earth's biological history. His conclusion was extraordinary. The genetic code of life on Earth was not the product of natural evolution alone. It was, in his own words, the product of design. He called his theory Directed Panspermia.
The proposition was this: somewhere in the galaxy, there existed, or had existed, an advanced, intelligent civilization. A civilization that reached a point where it understood it faced extinction. Perhaps a dying star. Perhaps a catastrophic event on a cosmic scale. Something irreversible. Faced with annihilation, Crick proposed, they made a choice. They couldn't save themselves, but they could save life itself. They packaged the biological blueprints of their existence, the molecular code of their being, and launched it into the cosmos, deliberately, purposefully, aimed at planets capable of sustaining it. One of those planets was Earth. This was not a theory proposed by a conspiracy theorist or a science fiction writer. This was one of the most decorated geneticists in human history, looking at the code that defines all life on this planet and concluding that someone else wrote it.
What is remarkable, and what modern science rarely acknowledges, is that this conclusion is not new. The ancient Egyptians spoke of humanity as children of the stars. The Mayans tracked celestial cycles with a precision that still baffles astronomers. The Dogon people of West Africa held detailed astronomical knowledge of star systems that weren't confirmed by Western science until the 20th century. Cultures across every inhabited continent, without contact with one another, preserved the same foundational belief. We came from somewhere else. Not as metaphor, not as poetry, as memory.
These were not primitive peoples fumbling toward an explanation for thunder and lightning. These were civilizations, encoding in stone and in scripture information they claimed was given to them directly by beings who descended from the sky. And now, in the 21st century, mainstream science has arrived slowly, reluctantly, at the same destination. The astrobiology community now broadly accepts the possibility that life on Earth has extraterrestrial origins. The only remaining debate is whether it arrived by accident or by intent.
Here is the thought that Hidden Doctrine leaves you with today. If directed panspermia is correct, if life on Earth was deliberately seeded by an intelligent civilization from another world, then the beings who created us would look, at the genetic level, remarkably like us, because we would be them. Their biology, their blueprint, carried forward across billions of years and light years of space. That would explain why, across countless ancient traditions, the gods are described as looking...
Do not be afraid. We are here to learn from you.
Walking like us, speaking like us, capable of the same emotions, the same conflicts, the same ambitions.
Because they weren't visiting something foreign. They were visiting something familiar. They were looking at us and seeing themselves.
The most unsettling implication of all is this. We are not the inhabitants of this world who were occasionally visited by something strange from beyond. We may be the visitors, and we may have forgotten.
Every ancient culture on Earth believed humanity came from the stars. Modern geneticists are beginning to ask the same question. The gap between mythology and science is closing faster than most people realize. At Hidden Doctrine, we don't wait for official permission to ask the questions that matter. Subscribe now and activate the bell notification, because every video we release goes somewhere the mainstream won't follow. Tell me in the comments, do you believe humanity was seeded on this planet, or did we evolve here independently? Real answers only. I read every single one. The doctrine was never hidden. It was just waiting for someone to read it. If we are descended from an alien civilization, what happened to them? Drop your theory below.